Let's talk about Donald Trump and the courts. Again, it seems like every week there's a new headline, a new twist, and another day in court for the former president. The legal battles just keep coming, and the stakes only get higher. But today we're doing something a little different, blending the lines between fiction and fact to help us understand the drama unfolding in real life. We're going to step into two courtrooms, one imagined, one all too real. First, we'll dive into a fictional courtroom drama, inspired by the relentless legal chaos that seems to follow Trump wherever he goes. Imagine the tension, the whispered conversations, the sharp glares exchanged between lawyers, and the judge's gavel echoing through the room. Picture a high-stakes appeal where every word matters. Judges drop bombshells, lawyers scramble to respond, and accusations of a massive cover-up hang in the air. The atmosphere is electric, and the outcome could change everything. This what-if scenario isn't just for entertainment, it's a creative lens to explore the immense legal pressures facing the former president. It lets us imagine the behind-the-scenes maneuvering, the strategies, and the personal stakes for everyone involved. But we're not just here to imagine. We'll also pull back the curtain on a real, documented moment from one of Trump's actual court cases. A moment that made headlines and sparked debate across the country. That real moment? A dramatic gag order, with Trump claiming he was being silenced by the court, and a judge stepping in to set the record straight. It's a scene that played out not just in the courtroom, but in the media and the public imagination. It's a perfect example of how legal strategy and public performance can blur together, especially when the stakes are this high. The courtroom isn't just a place for legal arguments. It's a stage where reputations, futures, and even democracy itself can hang in the balance. So buckle up. We'll start with our fictional story. A federal appeals panel delivers a devastating blow to Trump's legal team, leaving them scrambling for answers and searching for a way forward. The tension is palpable, and the consequences are enormous. Then, we'll pivot to reality and examine that bizarre gag order exchange, where the lines between legal argument and political theater become almost impossible to separate. The goal? To understand the mechanics of the legal system, the power of a judge's words, and the high-stakes game being played both inside and outside the courtroom. We'll see how every decision, every statement, and every ruling can ripple far beyond those four walls. We'll clearly label what's fiction and what's fact, so you can follow along as we move between the imagined and the actual. This is a story of judicial power, legal maneuvering, and the ongoing saga of Trump versus the American justice system. It's about the drama, the strategy, and the real-world consequences that play out in courtrooms across the country. Let's get into it. In our fictional scenario, the federal courthouse is tense, its marble halls echoing with the footsteps of anxious onlookers and the low murmur of speculation. The air is thick with anticipation, as everyone waits to see how the next chapter in this high-stakes legal drama will unfold. Inside, Trump's legal team is locked in a fierce battle, scrambling to keep sensitive documents out of the hands of determined prosecutors. Every page, every argument is scrutinized as they try to shield their client from what could be a devastating blow. Their hopes rest on a three-judge panel, believing that perhaps, just maybe, the tide will turn in their favor. But the reality is far harsher than they imagined. The judges don't just deny the appeal, they obliterate it, leaving no doubt about their stance. Their unanimous ruling is swift and brutal, calling the appeal wholly meritless. The language is scathing, a clear signal that the court has lost all patience for these legal maneuvers. The panel goes further, openly accusing Trump's lawyers of acting in bad faith. They assert that the legal arguments presented were nothing more than thinly veiled attempts to stall the inevitable. The judges allege a massive cover-up, suggesting a coordinated scheme to obstruct justice and keep crucial evidence hidden from the public eye. The sheer volume of withheld documents, paired with flimsy justifications, paints a picture of a deliberate and calculated effort to conceal the truth. The court is not fooled. For Trump's legal team, this isn't just a legal loss, it's a total condemnation of their entire defense strategy, a public rebuke that leaves them reeling. The judges leave no room for further argument, declaring the game over and making it clear that the court will not entertain any more stalling tactics. Their message is unmistakable. The court's patience has run out, and any further attempts to delay justice will be met with even harsher consequences. In this fictional world, the judicial hammer has fallen, and it has shattered Trump's defense, leaving nothing but fragments of a failed legal gambit. The ruling is a legal checkmate, a decisive end to a long and contentious battle. The fallout is immediate and devastating, sending shockwaves through the courthouse and beyond, as the world watches the consequences of this landmark decision unfold. What was this cover-up about? At the heart of the controversy was a battle over secrecy and the limits of legal protection. The courtroom became a stage for a high-stakes showdown, with every side fighting to keep their secrets safe, or to tear down the barriers hiding the truth. It centered on executive privilege and attorney-client privilege, real legal shields designed to protect sensitive government and legal communications. These privileges are meant to ensure that leaders and their lawyers can speak freely, without fear of exposure. In our story, Trump's team tried to use these privileges to block a huge trove of documents from ever seeing the light of day. Their legal strategy was to keep investigators at bay, arguing that nearly everything was protected. But the judges weren't convinced. They found the claims overly broad and often baseless, privilege asserted over documents unrelated to presidential duties or legal advice. The court saw, through attempts to stretch these protections far beyond their intended purpose. They called it a gross abuse of legal protections, accusing the team of mixing sensitive, potentially criminal info with routine legal advice, to hide it all. The judges saw a deliberate effort to blur the lines, making it nearly impossible to separate legitimate privilege from attempts to conceal wrongdoing. The court invoked the crime-fraud exception. Privilege doesn't apply if legal advice is used to commit a crime. This powerful legal doctrine is a rare but decisive tool, stripping away the shield when the law itself is being twisted for illegal ends. The judges ruled there was enough evidence to suggest some communications were part of an effort to obstruct the investigation. This was a turning point, as the court signaled it would not tolerate privilege being used as a weapon against justice. That was the key. The wall of privilege collapsed. Years of carefully constructed defenses fell apart in a moment as the court's decision shattered the illusion of untouchable secrecy. Everything hidden was now exposed, turning a defensive strategy into new legal peril. The fortress was breached, and what was once protected became the very evidence that could change the course of the case. With privilege gone, what was behind the wall? The fictional ruling describes a trove of emails, memos, recordings, and financial records. Internal emails could reveal strategies that crossed legal lines, proof of intent and coordination. Memos outlined questionable plans, and audio recordings captured key conversations. Financial records, bank statements, wire transfers, could show motive and funding. The court believed these documents painted a clear picture of a coordinated effort to break the law. The emails showed planning. Memos detailed strategy, recordings proved intent, and financials revealed motive. The ruling wasn't just procedural, it was a declaration that the truth was coming out. The evidence was too damaging to stay hidden. The court made sure it wouldn't be. In our fictional world, the appeals court's ruling is catastrophic for Trump. Legal options vanish. No more appeals, no tricks left. The documents must be turned over immediately. Worse, the ruling lays out a roadmap for new criminal charges: obstruction, conspiracy, even witness tampering. The act of hiding evidence becomes a crime itself. Politically, it's a bombshell. Headlines scream, "Court accuses Trump of cover-up." Opponents seize on the ruling, donors get nervous, and Trump's inner circle panics. Lawyers face sanctions. Aides wonder if they're targets. The trust holding the team together shatters. The ruling doesn't just defeat Trump, it isolates him. Both his legal and political worlds begin to crumble. Now, let's step into reality with a true courtroom moment. In one case, Trump was under a gag order, meant to prevent public statements that could influence the trial. Outside court, Trump told reporters the gag order stopped him from testifying. He claimed, "I'm not allowed to testify. I'm under a gag order." This was false. A gag order restricts public statements, not testimony. Defendants always have the right to testify. The judge addressed this directly in court, asking Trump's attorney to clarify. The judge stated for the record, "The gag order does not prevent testimony." Trump used the gag order as a political talking point. The judge calmly set the record straight. It was a revealing moment: legal reality versus public narrative. Even basic court rules can become part of a larger PR battle. Let's draw a clear line between our two stories. The first was fiction, a creative what-if about a devastating court ruling and accusations of a cover-up. None of that actually happened. It's a tool to illustrate the stakes of Trump's real legal battles. Concepts like executive privilege and the crime-fraud exception are real, but the scenario is imaginary. The second story, the gag order confusion, is fact. Trump did claim the gag order stopped him from testifying, and the judge publicly corrected him. That's a matter of public record. Fiction helps us imagine consequences. Fact shows us real tactics and tensions. One is what if, the other is what was. Both offer insight into the unprecedented legal saga of a former president. Keeping them separate is crucial. As we wrap up, remember the core principle at play, the rule of law. No one, not even a former president, is above it. Our fictional story imagined a dramatic judicial check on power. The real gag order incident showed a judge quietly upholding court integrity. Both highlight the immense pressure on the justice system, where law and politics collide. The courts are where evidence, not influence, decides the outcome. Ultimately, it's about accountability. Trump's legal battles test whether our system can function as intended. Fiction explored explosive consequences. Reality showed a judge ensuring order. Together, they show why the rule of law remains essential to a free society.